Mr. Sergeant of Arms, invite the members into the chamber, close doors. I hereby declare the House of Representatives of the 114th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee now in session. Will the members please stand? With the visitors and gallery please stand and remain standing through the Pledge of Allegiance. Representative White will serve as chaplain of the day. Representative White.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, it's great to see everyone as we get into the final days of our session together. It's been a great time. Let's bow our heads to the Lord as we pray. Heavenly Father, it's such an honor to know you as our God, that you have given us so much, the beauty of creation, how lately we've seen the leaves on the trees and the flowers come back out at your command. Thank you for loving us and giving us so very much. And during this week, as we prepare for Easter Sunday, may our reflection be on the one who died so that we could live forever and ever and ever. Watch over us, watch over Tennessee, provide Tennessee with great leadership, protect our children in our schools and our teachers, give us strength to love each other, because that's the most important thing as we go through our life, to be an example as Christ was an example. And we pray these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Representative White will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Clerk, please take the roll.
Roll call.
Ms. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Speaker, 84 members present.
Let the journal reflect Representatives Stennett and McKenzie are excused. Next order, Ms. Clerk.
Welcoming, honoring, and announcements.
Welcome, honoring announcements. Chairman Clemens, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before everyone goes hunting for eggs laid by rabbits, which I've still never figured out, just want to wish the Jewish residents of Tennessee a happy Passover. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Slater.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And on the 5th floor in Cordell Hall, I understand that there are 4 birthdays today, but the one that is special in our office is to my legislative assistant, Chelsea Rackley. So happy birthday on this tax day, Chelsea.
Representative Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, join me in wishing a happy birthday to my desk mate. 40 years ago today, Representative Mayberry was born. Happy birthday.
Representative Carringer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to take a moment to congratulate my assistant, Zach Huff. Found out a few hours ago that he passed the bar for law school. So congratulations, Zach. We're proud of you.
Representative McCalman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And since we've already wished a happy birthday to Representative Aaron Mayberry with 1A, I'll just, I guess, be the dark rain cloud on an otherwise sunny day and say happy tax day.
Representative Dixie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, some of our colleagues posted a disgusting and horrific picture that was triggering of holding a whip. I don't think people understand how that made some people feel. It was very insensitive. And we go through our days, we don't want to be called racist. We don't want to be called white supremacists. We don't be called white nationalists. but you post something like that and you give an actions, and actions speak louder than words. It's more important than ever that we continue to have Black history in our books, because we have a cultural insensitivity and misunderstanding or no understanding. And it's irreprehensible that they would pass that they would take that picture and no one from their caucus would say, this is not right. This is wrong.
Representative Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, on my desk, for everyone to take part in, I have brought the boxes of blow pops. And for your information, they are made in beautiful Covington, Tennessee and Tipton County. So please come by and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Did I miss anyone? Representative Pearson.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you, Chairman Dixie, as well. We do have a responsibility to not only have a cultural sensitivity, but realize that every action that we take as members of this House have repercussions and an effect. And I have two other things. Today is Mr. Rodney Wells, the father of Tyree Nichols' birthday, and so want to wish him a happy birthday and thank him for his consistent effort to make our city, our state more just, more fair, more equitable, and end the terror of police brutality that too often impacts our community. And then the last thing today, I would ask that all members observe one moment of silence, if you would, for Matthew Williams. This was a young man who died by gun violence while attending a violence intervention program by Youth Villages in Hill 901.
Thank you. Representative Hakeem.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know we're going to be pretty busy the next few days, and I want to express thanks and appreciation to my intern, Ms. Audrey Fairman. She's been outstanding. I really think that she has her pick of what it is she wants to do in the future, and if you would please give her a hand.
Representative Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like for you and the House to help me make welcome one of my guests today, who is to my left, behind me, up in the balcony. Miss Labrisha Beatty is here with us today, and I'd like for us to give her a big hand for being here.
Representative Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and members. Immediately following session today, if you would like to join us, we'll be having the Tennessee Israel Caucus at 3:30 on the 8th floor.
All right. Representative Jones of Davison.
Thank you, colleagues. A couple weeks ago, I rose on this floor to bring attention to a man named Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, 29 years old, kidnapped by the Trump administration, taken to El Salvador, which the Trump administration has admitted is an administrative mistake. Recently, the Supreme Court of the United States issued a unanimous order directing the Trump administration to facilitate his return to this country. But yesterday, this shameful con man, this crook, this criminal named Donald Trump met with President Bukele of El Salvador and doubled down and not returning this father who is innocent, charged with no crimes. And so there's times when we cannot act like things are normal. Too often, we're serving with damn Democrats who are feckless and Republicans who are soulless. It is tiring. It's not normal. Americans are being kidnapped. People who live in our country are being kidnapped, taken away to foreign prison camps. So the Nazi era is here. Fascism is here. And we cannot act like this is normal. So shame on you who are silent in this time.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Introduction to resolutions.
Lear Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move that all resolutions line over be referred to the appropriate standing committee.
Without objection, so.
Oh, I skipped a page. Let me go back one.
Lear Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Starting back at the top today, I move that all resolutions properly filed be introduced pursuant to Rule number 17 and placed on the consent calendar and referred to the appropriate standing committee.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Senate Joint Resolutions Congratulatory Memorializing.
Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move that all Senate joint resolutions congratulatory, memorializing, and line letter S be placed on the consent calendar pursuant to Rule number 17.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Resolutions lying over.
Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That all resolutions lying over be referred to the appropriate standing committee for the second time.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Introduction of bills, Senate bills on first consideration.
Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move that Senate bills 1430, 263, 308, 438, 614, 657, 670, 953, and 1002 transmitted by the Senate be held on the desk pending third consideration of the companion House bills.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Senate bills on second consideration, House bills on second consideration, petitions, memorials, reports of standing committees, reports of select committees, calendars. Mr. Speaker, the House has a consent calendar.
Chair Lady Moody, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of the consent calendar on third and final consideration in keeping with Rule 50.
Chair Lady Moody moves passage of the consent calendar. Probably second. Mr. Clerk, any objections been filed?
Mr. Speaker, no objections filed.
Anyone seeking recognition on the consent calendar? Representative Butler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Joint Resolution 646, after consulting with both leaders, I would request that everybody voting in the affirmative vote in the affirmative, with the Veterans Caucus being listed first.
Without objection, exclusion is duly noted. Representative Jones of Unicoi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Considering Senate Joint Resolution 363, after consulting with both members of the caucus, I ask that all members voting in the affirmative be added as co-sponsor sponsors, with the Northeast Tennessee delegation and the members of the Veterans Caucus being added first.
Without objection, exclusion is duly noted. Anyone else seeking recognition on the consent calendar? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those members in favor, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
I received a constitutional majority. I declare the consent calendar passed without objection. Most reconsider is tabled. Emirath, you're recognized. Oh, all right. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have regular calendar dated for Monday, April 14th, 2025. At the time of recess, the body was ready for item 12, House Bill 571 by Chairman Bolso, relative to public safety. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Chairman Bolso, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to SB 0468.
Chairman Bolso moves substitute form Senate Bill 468, probably second without objection. So ordered. Chairman Bolso, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of SB 0468 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Bolso moves passage of Senate Bill 468 on third and final consideration. Probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Roll the hill. No. Excuse me. We are going to adopt that amendment.
Chairman Farmer moves adoption of Committee Amendment number 1. Probably second. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting Committee Amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Amendment 2 by Representative Bain. Mr. Speaker, it was timely filed.
Representative Bain, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sorry, things are moving a little fast right now. Okay. There we go. Okay, all right, thank you. So this first amendment would be to change the title of this bill to the Gender Diversity, Safety, and Dignity Act in order to affirm the rights and safety of dignity of all people, including transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming individuals to the state. So this amendment would change the title of the bill. And with that, I move to adopt.
Representative Bain moves adoption of amendment number 2, probably seconded. Any discussion on amendment? Chairman Bolso, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respectfully, I move amendment number 2 to the table.
It's proper motion, properly seconded. That cut the parliamentary situations. Representative Bain has moved adoption of amendment number 2. Chairman Bolso has moved that motion to the table. That cuts off all debate except for that of the sponsor. Representative Bain, you're recognized. Nothing?
No.
All right, so be it. Parliamentary situations that Representative Bain has moved adoption of amendment number 2. Chairman Bolso has moved that motion to the table. We're voting on the tabling motion. All those in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? Ms. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 72, 21 nays.
Amendment number 2 is tabled. Call the next amendment, Ms. Clerk.
Amendment 3 by Representative Bain, Mr. Speaker, was timely filed.
Representative Bain, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So this amendment would amend the bill to ensure, to change the language in order to ensure safe and inclusive facility access. For the members that are listening, this bill basically insinuates that trans individuals who use the bathroom of their choice are predators, that they do not deserve to use bathrooms and other accommodations that suit them. So this amendment would ensure that all correctional facilities, juvenile detention centers, public institutions of higher ed, and domestic violence shelters provide safe and accessible accommodations of individuals of all genders, allow individuals to access facilities consistent with their gender, and prohibit harassment of discrimination based on sex and gender expression. I also wanted to flag that in terms of this bill, because correctional facilities are included, that there has been a long-standing federal Prison Rape Elimination Act in which this is codified at the federal level. And so this bill that Representative Bolso is putting forth is actually could lead to lawsuits in terms of its implementation. So with that, I move to adopt the amendment.
Representative Bain moves adoption of amendment number 3. Proper motion, probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Chairman Bolso, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respectfully, I move amendment number 3 to the table.
Proper motion, probably second. Parliamentary situations. Representative Bain has moved adoption of of House Amendment number 3. Chairman Bolso has moved that motion to the table. It cuts off all debate except for that sponsor. Representative Bain, nope, good. Moving on. Parliamentary situations. Representative Bain has moved adoption of amendment number 3. Chairman Bolso has moved that motion to the table. We're voting on the tabling motion. All those in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 73, 19 nays.
The ayes have it. Amendment number 3 is tabled. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
House Amendment 4 by Representative Bain, Mr. Speaker, was timely filed.
Representative Bain, you're recognized.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment would amend this bill to ensure that sex and gender are distinct concepts recognized by science, medicine, and law. Transgender, non-binary individuals are entitled to full participation in society. I just want to flag that this bill is about fear. This is not about safety. I think this is about this body's fixation with transgender individuals. There is no epidemic of trans Tennesseans causing harm in bathrooms. I would love for one of you to come up to me and tell me that there was an incident in your district where a trans individual caused violence or harm to someone in your district. I also want to flag that this is big government at its best. I personally want the government off my body and out of my bedroom, and this does exactly the opposite. It's incredibly invasive. It makes government's business to track private bodily matters, which is the definition of big government. So finally, I just want to say that this is not about women's safety. It ignores actual violence against women. If this body was concerned with violence against women, we would address the backlog of rape kits that we have. We would fund crisis rape centers that we haven't funded. So just to say that this is a bill stoked in fear, which is not addressing any particular problem. Thank you. With that, I stand to adopt the amendment.
Representative Bain moves adoption of amendment number 4. Proper motion, probably seconded. Any discussion? Chairman Bolso, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respectfully, I move amendment number 4 to the table.
Proper motion, probably seconded. The parliamentary situation. Representative Bain has moved amendment number 4. Chairman Bolso has moved that motion to the table. It cuts off all debate except for the sponsor. Representative Bain, we're moving forward. The primary situation is that Representative Bain has moved adoption of amendment number 4. Chairman Bolso has moved that motion to the table. We're voting on the tabling motion. All those in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 73, 20 nays.
The ayes have it. Amendment number 4 is tabled. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Bosso, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this bill is part of our continuing effort to protect the privacy and security of girls and women in private spaces. Specifically, this bill addresses privacy and security in 4 distinct areas: domestic relations centers, correctional facilities, detention facilities, and public institutions of higher education. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Bosso renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
Move previous question.
Previous question been called. There's objection. We're on the board. Previous question been called. We're on the board. All those in favor of previous question vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? Williams, aye. Hicks, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 71, 20 nays.
Previous question prevails. We're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 468 as amended vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Williams, aye.
I got you.
Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 72, 22 nays.
Senate Bill 468 having received constitutional majority, everybody declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 85 by Chairman Sapicki and others relative to physical activity for students. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Spicky, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 158.
Chairman Spicky moves substitute form Senate Bill 158, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Spicky.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 158 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Spicky moves passage of Senate Bill 158 on third and final consideration, probably second. Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment number 1, Mr. Speaker, is the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw and defer to the sponsor for the explanation.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
No further amendments, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Spicky, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, our elementary school children are faced with some issues that is affecting their academic performance. One of those is more recess time to get our kids outside, more physical activity to combat childhood obesity, learn better skills on the playground of socializing with their peers. Data suggests that more recess time will lead to less disruptions in the classroom. And the data suggests that more recess time will get us better academic results in our elementary schools. It takes it from 15 minutes a day to 40 minutes a day. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Spicky renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to thank the sponsor for bringing this bill. My 9-year-old son's in 3rd grade. He doesn't know a thing about what I do up here, but he does know about the recess bill, and he's looking forward to getting it passed. So I thank you very much.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 158 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? Williams, Hicks, aye. Ms. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
Senate Bill 158 having received constitutional majority, everybody declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 665 by Chairman Sapicki and others relative to education. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Spicky, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 713.
Chairman Spicky moves substitute and form Senate Bill 713, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Spicky.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 713 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Spicky moves passage of Senate Bill 713 on third and final consideration, probably second. Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's not in the Senate bill, so I move to adopt and defer to the sponsor for the further explanation.
Chairman White moves adoption. Committee Amendment number 1, probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting Committee Amendment number 1 say aye, aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendment.
Chairman Spicky, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, currently school districts are prohibiting the military from entering into their buildings and allowing them to present their information and opportunities to students. At times, they are relegated to obscure areas of the building where the students do not have access to the recruiters to engage in discussions about the military and the options that they provide to our students. What this bill does is requires that once a month, the military recruiters will have access to the cafeteria to set up their display and speak to students with the opportunities available for military service. It also allows every other month a presentation to be delivered and allow those students interested in military service the ability to have access to the presentation and information provided by recruiters. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Speaker renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Nope. All right. Representative Parkinson? No, I'm looking over there. It's all good, man. Representative Parkinson, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was trying to sign on to the sponsor's last bill and accidentally hit this bill before I knew what it did. And I was panicking a little bit until you explained it. And it's a great bill. Thank you for bringing it. I'm now your co-sponsor, whether you like it or not. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Clemens, I see your hand. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate it. I just haven't heard from my schools about this issue of them not being given space or visible space. Did this arise out of one incident in your district, or from what's the momentum behind this?
Chairman Spicky.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Great question. We had testimony from the military recruiters in our education committee. They made references across the state of Tennessee that there are districts that are prohibiting them from coming into their schools and just presenting their information. They did not want to put any particular district under the gun there, but they just let us know that. And so the instruction subcommittee asked me to put together this bill. So this bill is basically coming not from me, but from the instruction subcommittee itself.
Chairman Clemens.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just haven't heard anything about this, and I wasn't present for that testimony, of course. And I just want to make sure that we're actually addressing something that's an issue, because it was my understanding that according to the law, they had to be given space and access to the schools dating back decades. So I just didn't know if this was necessary. Thank you.
Chairman Spicky. Nope, we're good. Any further? Representative Sparks.
Thank you, Representative. Last week we talked about the positive aspect of mentorship and the high rate of fatherless, and there's so many members that the military did make a difference in their life. Case in point, Colonel Jim Reed, a lot of us knew, well, I called him Jimmy from school. He just retired last year after 34 years in the military. He happened to see a recruiter at MTSU, didn't know what he wanted to do with his life, and it changed his life. So thank you for the peace legislation, sir.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor, Senate Bill 713 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Crawford, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 93, no nays.
Senate Bill 713 having received Constitutional majority, hereby declare passed by objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Bob, next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1193 by Chairman Sapiki relative to educator evaluations. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Chairman Spicky, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 870.
Chairman Spicky moves substitute and conform Senate Bill 870, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Spicky.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 870 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Spicky moves passage of Senate Bill 870 on third and final consideration. Probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call for First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment number 1, Mr. Speaker, it's the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is same as the Senate amendment, so I move to withdraw and defer to the sponsor for explanation.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
No further amendments, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Spicky, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this is another bill in the sequence. Last year, I carried a bill on mathematics instruction on how we're going to deliver that in our school systems. This is the next one. This deals with teacher evaluations. It's a very complex system. It's very difficult to explain. It's hard to explain for teachers and administrators. It's hard to explain to parents. And so what this does is it conducts a landscape analysis of teacher evaluation practices in this state and other states. It requires the Department of Education to convene a teacher evaluation advisory committee composed of experienced educators in this state and other experts to review current teacher evaluation practices in this state. Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Spicky renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Dixie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know several teachers, and I've talked to several in my district and in my household as well, and not one of them said, I don't understand what I'm being evaluated on. Every year, we come up with something to tinker around with how teachers are evaluated, whether it's growth, whatever metric we tend to use. So I would implore us, instead of us always coming up with things, that we actually talk to teachers, talk to the stakeholders before we just start doing stuff. Or because there's no reason that we are continuing, after being here I've been here, this is my 7th year. Every year, we've had some sort of bill about teacher evaluation. So apparently we don't know what we're doing, or we're not involving the right people in the conversations or invite them to the table in order to have some input on their profession. So I would hope that in the future, before you start to present these bills, that you would actually talk to a cross-section of people, not the ones that you normally go to for your answers, but let's go talk to people across the state, get some people that may not agree with you at the table. And then that way we can come up with an actually good process to evaluate teachers and make sure that the good teachers are being rewarded and the teachers that are on the fence are being given the coaching that they need to become an excellent teacher. Thank you.
Chairman speaking.
Thank you for your comments from my colleague. In the bill, it talks about addressing that issue of making sure in this committee that we have experienced teachers in the state of Tennessee from across the state to make sure that we get their input and how we're going to evaluate our teachers. I renew my motion, Mr. Speaker.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objections to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 870 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? McCallum, aye. Clemens, aye. Love, aye. Parkinson, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 87, 2 nays, 6 present, not voting.
Senate Bill 87 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. The motion to reconsider is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 49 by Representative Davis relative to District Attorney General. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Davis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 245.
Representative Davis moves substitute and conform Senate Bill 245 without objection. So ordered. Representative Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 245 on third and final consideration.
Representative Davis moves passage of Senate Bill 245 on third and final consideration. By second, Ms. Clerk, call for First Amendment.
Mr. Speaker, no amendments filed.
Representative Davis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, members, I'm here to present Senate Bill 245 to you on behalf of the District Attorney General's Conference. This bill has 3 parts. It ensures that legal counsel and advice that is provided by the Executive Director of the Tennessee District Attorney General's Conference, that those attorneys, those conversations are privileged and confidential. It also closes certain portions of the conference executive committee and finance and audit committee meetings to the public. And it also states that a pro tem can be appointed in civil proceedings. Currently in statute, it's just criminal. And so we're including civil proceedings. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Representative Davis renews her motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Hardaway, you're recognized.
Thank you, Speaker. Sponsor, my question, the first 2 I understand. The third one I'm curious about, on the need to appoint a pro tem for civil proceedings. What's the genesis of that?
Representative Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, as I understand it, the District Attorney General's Conference, when they brought this legislation to me, that was a concern that they had, that currently in statute, it's only covering criminal proceedings and not civil proceedings. And so they just wanted to correct that. So in case that they need to appoint someone, they have that ability to do so.
Representative Hardaway.
Thank you. Is this retroactive? If there's an active case going on with an elected official and removal procedures, is there some kind of date? Is it effective from the date of the actual legislation being effective, or help me understand that part?
Representative Davis.
So if you look at section 5 in the legislation, it says that the act takes effect upon becoming law.
Representative Hardaway.
All right, so is there any connection with this and any of the proceedings in Shelby County?
Representative Davis.
I can't answer that question. I have no idea. You would have to speak to the District Attorney General's conference with respect to that.
Representative Hardaway.
All right, so just to be clear, if there's an open case, then this would not be retroactive to apply to that case if there already have been some court decisions relative to that case. And I'm talking about Shelby County in particular.
Representative Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So in section 4 of the bill, it speaks to the appointment process with regard to the civil proceedings, that it's changing and adding it, not just for criminal proceedings, but for civil proceedings as well. It also says that it's limited to, that it's addresses grand jury proceedings, actions for removal of officers under Title 8, Chapter 4 to 7, quo warranto actions under Title 29, Chapter 35, actions for abatement of nuisance under 29, Chapter 3, forfeiture actions under Title 40, Chapter 33, Title 39, Chapter 11, Part 7, actions pursuant to the Post-Conviction Procedure Act codified in Title 40, Chapter 30, Part 1, actions related to the regulation, care, and maintenance of cemeteries under 46-1-304, and any other proceeding. It doesn't speak to retroactively. It just speaks to that this change becomes active upon effectiveness of passage.
Representative Hardaway.
All right, so your intent is that it not be retroactive, but moving forward from the date of the effective date of the law itself.
Representative Davis.
So the law wouldn't change until the date of passage.
Representative Hardaway.
So is that a yes, that you do not seek retroactivity?
Representative Davis.
The law doesn't speak to that.
Representative Hardaway.
All right, but your intent, even, that's why I'm asking. I'm not getting a clear understanding from the language. So your legislative intent is for it not to be retroactive, correct?
Representative Davis.
I think that would be up to the discretion of a judge, but I wouldn't think that it would apply.
Representative Hardaway.
All right, that's alarming. If it's going to be left up to the judge and we're not giving the judge any kind of guidance while we're discussing the bill, then I've got a problem with the bill. I'm going to have to oppose it. I was just looking for a simple yes. I do not intend for this to be retroactive.
That was a statement. I didn't hear a question, Representative Hardaway.
Do you agree?
No, that was a question. Representative Davis, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Representative Hardaway.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Speaker.
Representative Warner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move previous question.
Previous question been called. Is there objection? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 245, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 73, 21 nays.
Senate Bill 245, having received a constitutional majority, everybody declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider table. Lear Lambert, for what purpose?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to take up item 50 on today's calendar or at this time.
Without objection, so ordered. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, to item 50, House Bill 314, by Chair Lady Littleton and others relative to criminal injury compensation. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Littleton, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 252.
Representative Littleton moves substitute conform to Senate Bill 252, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Littleton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 252 on third and final consideration.
Representative Littleton moves passage of Senate Bill 252 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt and defer to sponsor for further explanation.
Chairman Farmer moves adoption committee amendment number 1, probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting committee amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chair Lady Littleton, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 314, as amended, requires the state treasurer to compare the maximum award limit to criminal injuries compensation program with the national average of the maximum award limit and round it to the nearest $100 each year beginning January the 1st, 2026, rather than October the 1st of each year. Requires by June the 30th, 2025, the treasurer to publish on the treasurer's website the maximum compensation award determined for claims filed for crimes occurring on or after July the 1st of 2025. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I renew my motion.
Chair Lady Littleton renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 252 as amended, vote aye. When the bell rings, those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, is there any member which change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 93, 1 nay.
Senate Bill 252 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. Most reconsider table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the body is ready for item 17. Item 17, House Bill 528 by Chairman Doggett, relative to pretrial release. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Doggett, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 464.
Chairman Doggett moves substitute conform to Senate Bill 464, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Doggett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 464 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Doggett moves passage of Senate Bill 464 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, it's the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, committee amendment number 1 withdraw. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Doggett, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill sets the floor of 10% of the face value of a bond in criminal cases. With that, I renew my motion.
Chairman Doggett renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Leader Camper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Could you repeat what you said? I did not hear it.
Chairman Doggett.
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. This sets the floor for bond in criminal cases at 10%.
Leader Camper.
At 10%, is that what you said?
Chairman Doggett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, it sets a 10% flat rate on bond.
Leader Camper. All right. Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move previous question.
Previous question been called. If there's objection, we're on the board. All those in favor of previous question, vote aye. When the bell rings, those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 70, 24 nays.
Previous question prevails. We're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 464, vote aye. When the bell rings, those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 71, 23 nays.
Senate Bill 464 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. Motion reconsider is tabled. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, items 18, 19, 20 were all disposed of yesterday. We're ready for item 21. House Bill 1127 by Chairman Farmer relative to foreclosure notices.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 1127 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Farmer moves passage by second. Ms. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1.
Vice Chair Lady Davis, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The amendment rewrites the bill. We move to adopt and defer to the sponsor for further explanation.
Vice Chair Lady Davis moves adoption of committee amendment number 1. Probably second. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of committee amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopt. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, what this bill does, it brings the required foreclosure notices for newspapers from 3 to 2. We're moving more towards the internet role nowadays, and at some point in time, unfortunately, our papers just aren't going to be here, so we need to be prepared to do what we need to do for people to get the information they need regarding to foreclosure. So, Mr. Speaker, with that, I renew my motion.
Chairman Farmer renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Are you moving the newspaper requirement back to 2 rather than 3, you say, sponsor?
Chairman Farmer.
Yeah, yes, Representative Shaw, that's what we're doing, from 3 to 2.
Representative Shaw.
How about the notices? Can they still put it, newspapers still put it on their websites?
Chairman Farmer.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, they can. Representative Shaw, what happens is right now there's 3 notices that are required to be ran in the newspapers. They do go ahead and post them on a website that as long as you pay to run them in the foreclosure notices in the paper, they'll put them on their website. This will just create an avenue to have third-party websites to post those notices on as well.
Representative Shaw.
Thank you for that explanation. I just kind of want to get that on record. Thank you.
Leader Camper. All good? Nope. Leader Camper. Okay, good. Any further discussion? Representative Hardaway.
Thank you, Speaker. And just asking the sponsor to restate what you did in committee, that the time frame itself, those elements are not impacted.
Chairman Farmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And no, Representative Hardaway, there's no time requirements that are impacted here. You still have to run these notices for 30 days. So the only thing I'm doing is taking the requirement that a foreclosure notice is going to be ran 3 times to 2 and allow for a mechanism for a third-party website where folks can see these notices to be found. So we're just creating that framework and that foundation to grow on. So.
Representative Hardaway. All right, good. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of House Bill 1127 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Ms. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 83, 10 nays, 2 present, on voting.
House Bill 1127 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. Most reconsidered table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1180 by Chairman Farmer and others relative to adoption. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1005.
Chairman Farmer moves substitute and conform Senate Bill 1005. Probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Farmer. Chairman Farmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 1005 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Farmer moves passage of Senate Bill 1005 on third and final consideration. Probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment Number 1.
Vice Chair Lady Davis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment rewrites the bill, move to adopt, and defer to the sponsor for further explanation.
Vice Chair Lady Davis moves adoption of committee amendment number 1. Probably second. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting committee amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, what this bill does is if you file an adoption proceeding, the current law says that each child you adopt, you have to file a new petition and pay a new filing fee. So if you were to be adopting 2 children, you just have to file 1 petition and 1 filing fee. That's what this bill does. And I renew my motion.
Chairman Farmer renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 1005 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Every member vote. Anybody wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 89, no nays, 4 present, on voting.
Senate Bill 1005 having received constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. Most reconsidered table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 492 with Chairman Farmer relative to child custody. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 540.
Chairman Farmer moves substitute and conform to Senate Bill 540. Probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Farmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 540 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Farmer moves passage of Senate Bill 540 on third and final consideration. Probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment Number 1. Mr. Speaker, same as Senate Amendment Number 1.
Vice Chair Lady Davis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as the Senate amendment, move to withdraw.
Without objection, committee amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, what this bill does, it allows for the judge in a grandparent visitation rights case to have attorney's fees awarded. Right now, in many civil cases, the judge has the discretion to award attorney's fees as he or she feels fit. So this would just add grandparents visitation right cases into that box. So members, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'll do my motion.
Chairman Farmer renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 540, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 75, 17 nays, 2 present, not voting.
Senate Bill 540, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. Motion for consideration table. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 873 by Representative Fritz relative to weapons. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Representative Fritz, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1360.
Representative Fritz moves to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1360 without objection. So ordered. Representative Fritz.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of SB 1360 on third and final consideration.
Representative Fritz moves passage of Senate Bill 1360 on third and final consideration. Second, Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, I believe it's the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Fritz, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill simply builds on something we did a couple years ago, colleagues, providing firearms and manufacturers, dealers and sellers, some for protection from civil liability, including lawsuits from foreign entities. This legislation makes additions to the law that we did in 2023 that aligned with the Federal Protection of Lawful Commerce and Arms Act at the state level. These additions protect firearms manufacturers from foreign claims of civil liability, and foreign meaning not only foreign nations, but other states. State courts would be blocked from recognizing foreign judgments. It also expands the list of manufacturers to which this legislation would apply. As many of you are aware, the country of Mexico has filed a lawsuit against Smith & Wesson and other American firearms manufacturers, claiming that they should be held accountable for the violent cartels that drive their drug trade. Most of us consider that ludicrous. According to the Tennessee Department of Economic Development, as of September of 2021, Tennessee had become the #1 in the nation per capita for employment in this industry, with nearly 8,000 jobs. This industry contributes an estimated $1.1 billion annually to our economy. And there are 20 firearms manufacturers and ammunition manufacturers in the state of Tennessee, including Smith & Wesson, Beretta, GS Performance, and several others, with most recently Beretta announcing a $75 to $80 million investment in our state. With that, Mr. Speaker, I would move to pass this and consider your favorable consideration on the bill.
Very good. Representative Fritz renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Warner, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move previous question.
Previous question been called. There's objection. We're on the board. All those in favor of previous question, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 66, 22 nays.
Previous question prevails. We're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 1360, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 72, 20 nays.
Senate Bill 1360, having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. Motion to reconsider table. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the body is ready for item 26. Item 26, House Bill 1377 by Representative Harris and others relative to reporting student reading levels. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Harris, you're recognized. Representative Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 1383 on third and final consideration.
Representative Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage on House Bill 1377 on third and final consideration. And substitute and conform to the Senate.
Yep, absolutely. Representative Harris moves substituting form Senate Bill 1423, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 1377.
Senate Bill 1423. Senate Bill 1423.
Senate Bill 1423.
On third and final consideration. Representative Harris moves passage of Senate Bill 1423 on third and final consideration. Probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment number 1, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have moved to withdraw and defer to the sponsor for further explanation.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Harris, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I first want to say thank you to the Education Committee members for working with me on this legislation, but also acknowledge the community members who brought this idea for this legislation to me. Some of those community members and organizations like Nashville Propel are sitting in the gallery today. So to Ms. Brenda Ross and Ms. Sonia Thomas, thank you so much. House Bill 1377 would require that a student report card and progress report must include with or on the report card or progress report the student's most recent universal reading screener score, known by a lot of community people as reading grade levels. This legislation begins addressing a fundamental gap in how we communicate student progress to parents. In Tennessee, our students take multiple benchmark assessments throughout the years in certain grade levels to measure reading students' comprehension. And so, however, parents often see only a letter grade on their child's report card. So I renew my motion.
Representative Harris renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 1423 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does the member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 93, no nays, 3 present, unvoted.
Senate Bill 1423, having received constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. Most reconsider table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1383 by Representative Harris and others relative to boards of education.
Representative Harris, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 1383 on third and final consideration.
Representative Harris moves passage. By second, Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt and defer to the sponsor for the explanation.
Chairman White moves adoption. Committee Amendment number 1. Probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of Committee Amendment number 1 say aye, aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopt. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Harris, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And House Bill 1383 would allow and only affect 3 counties within our state, but it would allow a local legislative body for a county that has adopted a charter form of government to align county school board elections with those of the local legislative body. The local county commission serves as the local funding body for many of our county LEAs, so it's only makes sense to do this. So with that, I renew my motion.
Representative Harris renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Oh, sorry, Representative Mayberry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to rise in support of your bill. And as a school board member, it's always great to have attention put on school board elections along with other elections. And I just want to say I fully support your bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Martin Hamilton.
Thank you, Representative Harris. My question for you is this: would this mean that all of the county commission seats and all of the school boards would be at the same election cycle? Right now in my county, half of the school board is every 2 years and the county commission is all at one time.
Representative Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And no, that's would not happen for your county. This would only apply to charter form of governments. We only have 3 charter form of governments across the state. And so that wouldn't apply to you.
All right, very good. Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of House Bill 1383 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member vote, as any member wish to change their vote. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 87, 5 nays, 5 present, not voted.
House Bill 1383 and received constitutional majority. I hereby declare passed by objection. The motion reads here table. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 490 by Hilton Haynes, relative to courts.
Chair Lady Hilton Haynes, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 490 on third and final consideration.
Chair Lady Hilton Haynes moves passage. Following said, Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt.
Chairman Farmer moves adoption of Committee Amendment number 1. Probably second. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of Committee Amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopt it. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chair Lady Hilton Haynes, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Notwithstanding another provision of law, constitutional provision, or judicial interpretation thereof, a municipal judge who was elected or appointed to office prior to March 7th, 2025, and who is qualified for such office shall not be disqualified or removed from office due to residency requirements established by the Tennessee Supreme Court decision in McNabb versus Harrison on March 7th, 2025. Such judges will be deemed de facto officers whose actions are valid and binding during the completion of the judge's terms. The residency requirements will be enforced beginning with the next regularly scheduled election for any affected municipal judgeship after the effective date of this act. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chair Lady Hilton Haynes renews her motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of House Bill 490 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Hicks, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote. Harris, aye.
Ayes 96, no nays.
House Bill 490 having received constitutional majority, everybody declare passed by objection. The motion reads serious table. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, that brings the body to item 32. Item 32, House Bill 785 by Chairman Howell, relative to bail bonds. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Howell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1237.
Chairman Howell moves to substitute and conform Senate Bill 1237. Probably second without objection. So ordered. Chairman Howell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 1237 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Howell moves passage of Senate Bill 1237 on third and final consideration. Probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt.
Chairman Farmer moves adoption Committee Amendment number 1. Probably second. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting Committee Amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Howell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, House Bill 785 is a reporting bill designed to ensure that bail bonding companies are not overextended on the amount of bonds that they are approved for. Under current law, the bail bonding industry self-reports. However, a bondsman may be licensed to do business in 1, 2, 3, 4 counties, but a judge in one county may have no idea how much the bondsman is extended for in another county. This bill is designed to correct that by requiring a quarterly report to be filed with the court clerk. Also, every bond written has a $12 fee, which is to be submitted to the Department of Revenue. That is current law. This bill creates an audit process and gives revenue working with that information from the court clerks the ability to determine if a bondsman is overextended and if they're paying the $12 fee. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Howell renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Dixie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the sponsor, currently, I think the bondsmen, they submit a report twice a year. I'm not sure what 4 times a year will do, especially if it's going to the court clerk. How will a court clerk in another jurisdiction know what's going on in the other jurisdiction if it's nothing that's submitted statewide?
Chairman Howell, you're recognized.
This is a new system designed to allow the Department of Revenue to access all of that information from all county court clerks, and that will give Revenue the ability to audit.
Representative Dixie.
Currently, the Department of Revenue, they keep tabs on everything that we do. It is a self-reporting type deal, but every court clerk knows how many bonds we do on a monthly basis because we submit the quarterly reports to the Department of Revenue. So I'm not sure how this bill will change what we're doing and how, if I do, let's say if I have a bonding company in Knox County and one in Davidson County, how will Knox County know how many bonds that I'm doing in Davidson County and vice versa? Because you stated that your bill would help alleviate that problem.
Chairman Howell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative, while many bonding companies such as yourself may self-report and do it properly, there are those who do not. I can give you an example. A bonding company may be approved for $1.5 million, and it was discovered after the bonding owner's death through an audit that he was actually overextended to $2.5 million. Not everyone does it. I commend those who do, but this bill is designed to correct the situation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I renew my motion.
Representative Dixie.
And I don't want to get a wrong impression. I actually support your bill. I think it's a good bill as far as what we're doing as far to try to help regulate. I think that this will help solve the issue because in certain jurisdictions, judges and bondsmen have different types of relationships and they get preferential treatment. This will help level the playing field to make sure everybody's playing by the same rules. And I just wish that there was something on a statewide level that would make sure to help ensure that everyone, excuse me, it's hard to see around a moving target. So it would, yeah, you would. And so I would hope that we could have some kind of statewide system that would actually work with the Department of Revenue because there are the capabilities of where they can do this. But thank you, and I do support your bill.
Chairman Howell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I renew my motion.
Chairman Howell renews motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor, Senate Bill 1237 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 91, no nays, 4 present, I voted.
Senate Bill 1237 having received constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. Most reconsider table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 335 by Chairman Halsey and others relative to local government. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Halsey, you recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to substitute conform to Senate Bill 357.
Chairman Halsey moves substitute conform to Senate Bill 357, properly seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Halsey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move passage of Senate Bill 357 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Halsey moves passage of Senate Bill 357 on third and final consideration. Properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House State and Local Government Committee Amendment number 1, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as Senate Amendment number 1, move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Halsey, you recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill just gives permission for the Blounteville Utility District to up the pay of their board members from $300 to $500 a month. That's all the bill does. With that, I renew my motion.
Chairman Halsey renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 357 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member casts a vote, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 94, no nays.
Senate Bill 357 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The motion to reconsider is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 445 by Chairman Hulsey and others relative to the rights of citizenship. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Holsey, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Moving to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 407.
Chairman Holsey moves to substitute form Senate Bill 407, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Holsey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 407 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Holsey moves passage of Senate Bill 407 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Holsey, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This, I want to say first off publicly that I thank Michelle Fogarty so much for the hours and hours and hours she spent on work on this bill. And last year in committee, there were several folks in this body who came trying to fix issues with the restoration of voting rights. And so we tackled that last summer, and the result was this bill. Let me tell you what it does. It creates one process for everyone seeking restoration of rights of citizenship. It changes current law to require everyone to petition the court for restoration of rights of citizenship. It also requires the person to notify the district attorney and the coordinator of elections and the attorney general in report of the filing of the petition. And the bill gives the attorney general and a reporter standing to intervene if they object. The bill clarifies when a person's eligible to have their full rights of citizenship restored. The bill defines what citizenship rights are. The bill also defines court costs. The bill makes it clear to the court what factors must be considered when granting restoration of firearm rights, voting rights, and other rights. This bill also allows the court to grant one or some of the rights of citizenship if a person is not eligible. And according to my colleague, I'm through now, and I renew my motion.
Chairman Holsey renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And to the sponsor, should I be standing up there with you or should I? Okay, because that is a bill-jacked bill. Now, most of the tenets that we've heard in that legislation, the separation of the rights to be able to get them back individually, were taken from the bill that I had last year that was killed and ran now. And I'm okay with it. I'm going to support it and I'm going to sign on to the bill also. But I do have a question. Is it going to cost individuals to get their rights restored under this legislation?
Chairman Holsey.
It does not, I say it won't cost. It does not cost any more than it does right now. There are filing fees, and there always have been, and this bill does not address that or change that.
Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What barriers are still in place under this legislation to get your rights restored?
Chairman Holsey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the biggest one is something we're probably going to take up between now and next year. It is very difficult for somebody who's been in the penitentiary for quite some time, and if they have child support payments that they're supposed to be making, when they come out, it's a pretty big onerous burden to catch up, and that's probably one of the biggest hindrances that we probably need to look at, and there's interest in that.
Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, what I was told when y'all killed my version of the bill last year was that you were going to do a study and clean up all of the areas in the code that needed to be cleaned up so that individuals could work on restoring their rights, whether individually or all rights at the same time. I was never invited to that study, even though I was told that that's why you were killing my bill. But did we do that in this legislation?
Chairman Holsey.
We did do that, and there was a unanimous decision to kill your bill. I'll just tell you right up front. We did do that. You can get one or some or all of your rights back there. They have the ability now to be separated out. So, for example, you get your voting rights if you couldn't get your gun rights.
Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do I have the rights to get my bill back? Secondly, how do we stop the steal of bills? Lastly.
Hey, Representative Parkinson, look, man, you're treading, and you're about ready to drown. So I would suggest that you pull it out. Representative Parkinson.
Let me wade water here. This bill is incredibly important, and my apologies to the members. This bill is incredibly important, to a lot of people. We had a veteran that spoke in the committee and felt like he was not an American because of how we treated him when it came to him getting his rights restored. We had individuals that wanted their voting rights restored. We had individuals that wanted their right to bear arms restored. And I'm being told that this legislation still falls short in some areas in making it hard for people to get their rights restored.
Chairman Holsey.
I'm sure there are folks that don't think it went far enough, but it did correct most of all the problems that came in front of our committee, including yours.
Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Sponsor. I hope that we can remove the rest of these barriers, such as child support and other things. I also hope that we as a state will finally decide that once a person pays his debt to society, he can actually get his rights restored without having to jump through additional hoops to get his rights restored, because we have this way of making a person pay for a mistake that they made for all of their life in our state. So I hope that we can fix that also. And I appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your indulgence. Greatly appreciated.
All right. Representative Pearson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Speaker, Sponsor, and to my fellow colleague from Shelby County, I'm going to ask that you actually do not support this legislation. It is not the same bill that was killed in committee that my colleague brought, and I was there the day that he presented it. A couple of challenges, Sponsor, that I have with this, and in fact, two of the people who advocated against this legislation were there a year ago in the committee, and they said that this bill does not and will not address the problems that are deeply impacting people who are facing disenfranchisement, because there are some provisions within this legislation that are making it more difficult. And to all of my colleagues, we all have people in our communities who are being disenfranchised, who want to be citizens, who want to have their rights restored, but we are creating more barriers to doing that. One of those barriers is that this new legislation would require sworn statements. And so these individuals will have to go to the clerk's office, would have to sign paperwork admitting to things. And if for any reason, any of that information is inaccurate because stuff's not been logged properly or anything else, they will not be allowed to register to vote. Another thing that's new here is that people are still being denied because of their child support records and other things that could put them at legal risk if they sign the paperwork. An individual would be responsible. A person who's now just coming back into society is going to be responsible for getting all information and all documentation to the court. We're asking people who are re-entering society to take on the full burden of their re-entry as full citizens, which is very difficult for anyone to do, especially people re-entering into society. And a lot of folks won't just need advocates, but also are going to feel the need to have an attorney to help them. This legislation is forcing an individual to get petitions from the court, make sure that they are paying all of these fines and filing fees. Petitioning the court isn't just free. It's something you just can go and do. And so there's a requirement that I would argue should be there for people who are reentering society to be able to have those fees waived. But currently, the way this legislation is written, a certain amount of people will be qualified as indigent. But if you are just $1 above that requirement, you will be forced to pay the filing fees. Some of those costs, for instance, in Davidson County is $159 to petition the court. In Sumner County, it's $250 to petition the court. The reality is we are telling people they have to pay to become full citizens in our constitutional democratic republic experiment. And sponsor, you could speak to this. I wasn't here, but in 2006, this system was in place. Okay? The legislature had a system where you had to petition the court to get your voting rights restored before 2006. The members of the legislature then decided that that was creating too many barriers to entry. So in 2006, a new state law came into effect that created a different process that lowered the barriers for people to be able to get their rights restored. We fixed the problem, and now we're going back 20 years to recreate the problem that we were trying to solve in the first place. While this legislation seems to be making things simpler, it is actually making things more difficult for people to have their rights restored. And so I would ask that you not support this legislation. It needs to have the voices of people who are doing this work being included. And in the committee, where sponsor you presented this legislation, several people spoke about why this is going to be more harmful and not helpful to people getting their rights restored, just so that we could be in line with what the coordinator of elections' mistake was. And so I would recommend as a body, we go back to the 2006 year where this legislation to remove this process was put into effect in order that we can make sure that people get their access to voting rights more quickly and in a more succinct way. And hopefully one day we'll have automatic voter registration. But until then, I ask that you vote no on this legislation.
Chairman Halsey.
Thank you for your comments. And I can't answer everything that you said. I got to tell you, half of what you mentioned is already an existing law. We didn't change any of that. It doesn't cost anything to notify the court. You can do that by email. We used to have an administrative process to do this, but that got sued so many times in federal court that when the Supreme Court, state of Tennessee, took it up, they eliminated that. So there is no administrative process anymore. These things do not make it harder, and they do not cost anymore, and they do fix a great deal of problems that we talked about last week. Thank you for your comments.
Chairman Howell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Chairman, thank you for this bill. You and I have had many discussions about this very issue for the past 2, possibly 3 years. And you're well aware of the situation with a constituent in my district who, when he was a much younger man, created a nonviolent felony, turned his life around, and for more than 20 years now, he's owned a business, has a family, has grandkids, pays his taxes, and he's tried every means that he could think of, and we've tried to help him in the past 2 or 3 years unsuccessfully, but all he wants to do is vote. I'm hopeful that your bill will fix that situation, and I urge my colleagues to vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Dixie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the sponsor, previously, before this bill started, there was a flow chart that was about 2 pages of how a person would go through to get their voting rights back. How does this bill streamline that?
Chairman Halsey.
Thank you for the question. The AOC will come out with a 1-page petition, and it will meet the needs of any restoration of whatever right you're going after that's been taken away. So, because the process is all the same, you still have to send the petition to circuit court. The difference in now is now you have to have a hearing. With this bill, you don't have to have a hearing. Once you fill out the petition, and it is true, there is a statement that you sign saying that these things are true. That gets sent to the court. If there's no objection, the judge can sign off and grant that then without a hearing.
Representative Dixie.
So it's still at the judge's discretion. Excuse me. It's still at the judge's discretion whether they move forward or they get denied.
Chairman Holsing.
No, that's not correct. The law says in this law, if these requirements are met, the judge shall restore those rights.
Representative Dixie.
One last question. So does this bill eliminate the need to get your citizenship rights before you can get your voting rights restored? So do you have to have your gun rights before you can get your voting rights back?
Chairman Holsing.
We fixed that in this bill as well. No, you can get one right back. For example, you could get your voting rights back even if you couldn't get your gun rights back.
Representative Dixie.
All right, thank you.
Representative McCalman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move previous question.
Previous question, McCall, their objection? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 407, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 86, 8 nays, 1 present, not voting.
Senate Bill 407 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare it passed without objection. Most read series table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 347 by Representative Hurt and others relative to children. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Representative Hurt, you're recognized.
I apologize, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 560.
Representative Hurt moves substitute conform to Senate Bill 560, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 560 on third and final consideration.
Representative Hurt moves passage of Senate Bill 560 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, it's the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, we all care about the health and well-being of Tennessee's children, and under current law, simply falling on hard times could be grounds for removing children from otherwise loving homes. We want to encourage families to get the resources they need to lift them out of poverty, not scare them away. This amendment prohibits the state from removing children from their home or terminating parental rights on the basis of economic disadvantage alone. This bill is codifying best practice in Tennessee, and as we've seen done in Texas, it is merely ensuring that no family is separated solely for experiencing poverty. And Mr. Speaker, before I finish, I'd like to share a story from one of our colleagues down the hall that I feel is relevant. And he stated, Senator Wally stated, when I was commissioner of DCS in Alabama, after doing so in Tennessee, the department was called to investigate an allegation of child neglect at the home of a poor single mom. They found her refrigerator wasn't working and had spoiled food, and there was little to eat for the kids. They decided to remove the children and place them in foster care. The young daughter, with great wisdom, asked, wouldn't it be easier to just get my mom a new refrigerator? Good wisdom from a youngster. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I will renew my motion.
Representative Hurt renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 560, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Yeah. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
Senate Bill 560 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare it passed without objection. Most read series table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 351 by Representative Hurt relative to electronic monitoring for work release. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bills on the desk.
Representative Hurt, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 533.
Representative Hurt moves substitute for Senate Bill 533. Upon second without objection, so ordered. Representative Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 533 on third and final consideration.
Representative Hurt moves passage of Senate Bill 533 on third and final consideration. Upon second, Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
House State and Local Government Committee Amendment Number 1, same as Senate Amendment Number 1.
Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as Senate Amendment 1, move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment Number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this bill was brought to me by one of my sheriff's departments. I just needed some clarification on our work release program. And this bill, as amended, requires that when a prisoner is released for paid employment and wears an electronic monitoring device as required under current law, then the sheriff who houses the prisoner will deduct the costs associated with the monitoring device from the prisoner's wages. It then requires the county or the state to pay those costs directly to the provider of the monitoring device. If the prisoner is unpaid, it clarifies that the entity utilizing the prisoner for work shall pay the cost for the electronic monitoring device. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Without objection, Committee Amendment Number 1. Oh, I'm sorry. Representative Hurt renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Leader Camper.
Thank you, sponsor. You said that the person would have to pay or the company would have to pay.
Representative Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So the company pays the prisoner for their time, the inmate for their time of work to the sheriff's office, and the sheriff's office deducts the amount that is owed for the monitoring device to the company. So it goes from the employer to the sheriff's office and then deducted and goes to the person who provides the employer, provides the monitor.
Leader Camper.
So the person that's working for this company, wages are going to be garnished in order to have access and be able to work if they got the monitor on, is what you're saying. They're going to garnish their check to be able to do it.
Representative Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That is correct. So in order to participate in this program, they agree that they have to wear the monitoring device, and they'll pay the fee, whatever it is, weekly or monthly, to the company that provides the ankle monitors.
Leader Camper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do you have any idea of how much money this is? Do you know what it costs?
Representative Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Not exactly. I think it's $10 or so a week, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, but somewhere in that ballpark from the discussions I've had with it. And again, this bill doesn't really affect that. That's already in place, but this bill just clarifies the administrative process and how the fees get paid for the monitoring device.
Leader Camper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does it prioritize it over any other obligations they may have? They may have an agreement to pay child support. A lot of them go into these programs when they're readying to transition out. And so they are earning in order to pay toward their child support or keep it current or pay toward arrearages. Would this take precedence over that, or how would that work?
Representative Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not aware of any precedents that this legislation lays out. I don't know if it maybe prior was in there, but with my legislation, it does not prioritize it.
Leader Camper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would hope that, people that's in this program who's trying to transition out, trying to get, step up in life, who are doing their child support and everything we're asking them to do, having to pay extra fees could put them in an indigent status, which would discourage them from even trying to go and do the work and do all this. So I hope that's not what we're doing, because if you're garnishing it out of their check right off the top, then I think it's going to affect their ability to do some of the other things that they've agreed to do to work toward being released. So those are the concerns I have with it.
Representative Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for that. I know in the sheriff's departments in my area, in my district and surrounding area that are offering the service that the inmates can opt into, that the inmates they're actually getting out of after serving their time with large balances, even after paying those. So I do think at this point it's extremely beneficial, and we're not seeing, the concerns that you have out there with this program. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Very nice. Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to previous question.
Previous question been called. Is there objection? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 533, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 76, 18 nays.
Senate Bill 533 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 453 by Representative Hurt relative to fire drills in schools. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk. That's item 37.
Representative Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 346.
Representative Hurt moves substitute and conform to Senate Bill 346, probably second without objection. So ordered. Representative Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 346 on third and final consideration.
Representative Hurt moves passage of Senate Bill 346 on third and final consideration, probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment Number 1, same as Senate Amendment Number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw and defer to the sponsor for the explanation.
Without objection, Committee Amendment Number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, present law requires the Commissioner of Commerce and Insurance to require fire drills in educational occupancies where such occupancies constitute the major occupancy of a building. Full evacuation fire drills must be held at least once every 30 school days, with 2 fire drills occurring during the first 30 full days of the school year. This legislation provides that in the event the state's 30-day fire drill requirement conflicts with local, county, or city or municipal law concerning the time frame in which fire drills in these occupancies must occur, the state requirement controls. This legislation also clarifies that the 30 school day fire drill requirement is intended to apply once during that period. This is to reduce the loss of instructional time to our educational facilities. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I'll renew my motion.
Representative Hurt renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 346 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? McCallum, aye. Rudd, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
Senate Bill 346 having received constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 624 by Representative Kiesling relative to registration and licensing of motor vehicles. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Representative Kiesling, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move, now let's see. 624, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 876.
Representative Kiesling moves substitute and conform to Senate Bill 876 without objection. So ordered. Representative Kiesling.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 876 on third and final consideration.
Representative Kiesling moves passage of Senate Bill 876 on third and final consideration. By second, Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
Mr. Speaker, no amendments filed.
Representative Kiesling, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, House Bill 6, Senate Bill 876. In the legislative intent of the bill is to modify the existing law that permits a standard service charge to ensure that our clerks, officers that are allowed to keep up with the rising cost of shipping and handling fees. In 23, the General Assembly passed legislation that would effectively create an index for our clerks to adjust those fees collected for the processing, mailing orders of plates and decals. But as we all know, the U.S. Postal Service is gone. Their charges have gone up and up and up. So, however, our clerks have found that it's difficult to apply these such increases because of the lack of uniformity. This piece of legislation seeks to authorize a county clerk's office the ability to increase this fee for handling. So the example that's being given here today is currently it would raise the mailing of the plates from $5 to $7. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'll renew my motion.
Representative Kiesling renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Hardaway, you're recognized. Passes. All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor, Senate Bill 876, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 75, 17 nays, one present not voting.
Senate Bill 876 having received a constitutional majority, everybody declare it passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Item 39, House Bill 833 by Representative Kiesling, relative to illegal aliens. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Representative Kiesling, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 750.
Representative Kiesling moves substitute conform to Senate Bill 750, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Kiesling.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I move passage of Senate Bill 750 on third and final consideration.
Representative Kiesling moves passage of Senate Bill 750 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House State and Local Government Committee Amendment Number 1, same as Senate Amendment Number 1.
Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as Senate Amendment number 1, move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment Number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Kiesling, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is relative to illegal aliens. Earlier this year, members, we, the General Assembly, passed Senate Bill 6002, creating the Centralized Immigration Enforcement Division. Now, this bill, the intent of it is to keep the General Assembly, up to date with a report due July 1, 26, that will assess the population of illegal aliens residing in Tennessee. So the report will also include a threat analysis for Tennessee regarding illegal immigration. We want to thank the Department of Safety, TBI, police chiefs, and the sheriffs who helped draft this language. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Kiesling renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Capley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move previous question.
Previous question being called. Is there objection? 1, 2, 3. There's objection. 1 on the board. All those in favor of previous question vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 73, 19 nays.
Previous question prevails. We're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 750 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Kumar, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 75, 20 nays.
Senate Bill 750 having received constitutional majority, everybody declare it passed without objection. Most reconsider is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1197 by Chairman Kumar and others, relative to non-sectarian, non-religious study of the Bible. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Leader Camper, what purpose?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to make a motion to move for item 68 be heard. Representative Shaw, next. Move him up out of order.
Motion, second. Any objection? No objection?
No objections.
So ordered. No. All right. Mr. Clerk.
Speaker, we're on 1197 by Chairman Kumar, relative to non-sectarian, non-religious study of the Bible. Senate bills on the desk.
Representative Kumar, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 0298.
Chairman Kumar moves substitute form Senate Bill 298, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Kumar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 0298 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Kumar moves passage of Senate Bill 298 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Education Committee Amendment Number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment Number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
No further amendments, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Kumar, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The 1963 Skemp versus Abington Township decision is interpreted to allow a non-sectarian, non-religious academic study of the Bible for classes K-9 through 12 in Tennessee schools. In 2019, Tennessee Bible standards were developed. Only 36 of the 147 school districts in Tennessee have developed and adopted Bible courses. In 2018, we passed Public Chapter 775, asking that the approved curricula be listed on the Department of Education website so that smaller districts who are not able to develop their own standards can use those for teaching purposes. The problem was that in 2008, our law said that the curricula will be approved by the Department of Education, and in 2018, we said they were approved by they are to be approved by the State Board of Education. So nothing really got done. This bill, House Bill 1197, streamlines the process so that the standards will be approved by the LEA. This will allow the LEAs to also borrow the standards that have already been approved because they are listed on the Department of Education website. Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Kumar renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 298, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Bain would be a no. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 82, 8 nays, 2 present, not voting.
Senate Bill 298 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. Most reconsider table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the motion made by Leader Camper, we're ready for item 68, House Bill 1274 by Representative Shaw relative to arrests made for operating vehicles under the influence. Mr. Speaker, Senate bill's on the desk.
Representative Shaw, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Which substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1166.
Representative Shaw moves substitute form to Senate Bill 1166 without objection. So ordered. Representative Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move passage of Senate Bill 1166 on third and final consideration.
Representative Shaw moves passage of Senate Bill 1166 on third and final consideration. By second, Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Judiciary Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, committee amendment number, is that right? Mr. Clerk? All right. Committee amendment number 1 withdrawn. Very good. Call up next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
No further amendments, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Shaw, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill is asking the Tennessee Department of Bureau and Investigation to provide a report to yourself as well as the Speaker of the Senate on or before January the 1st of each year that would deal with anyone who has been stopped, arrested for DUI or any drug paraphernalia, but have no proof of it being on that person in any way. And what we're trying to do with this piece of legislation, we know that law enforcement has a big job to take care of all the things they do, but we're trying to weed out those few cases that might be out there where someone, in the case of my company today, Miss Beatty was stopped by a law enforcement officer and was charged with DUI and drugs, and there was no proof of that on her at all. And so what we're simply trying to do with this, just to weed out those bad situations, few bad situations across the state of Tennessee where that might happen, to make sure that we can provide the best in law enforcement for all of our citizens. And with that explanation, I would renew my motion and stand ready for any questions.
Representative Shaw renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objections to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 1166, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
Senate Bill 1166 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. Most reconsider table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk. Oh, Representative Shaw.
Speaker, I know that I'm out of order, but I'd like to recognize Ms. Beatty, who's in the up in the balcony today. He is with us. If you would recognize her, thank you.
Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, that brings us back to item 41. Item 41, House Bill 1203 by Chairman Kumar relative to healthcare provider licensing. Mr. Speaker, Senate bill's on the desk.
Chairman Kumar, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 0359.
Chairman Kumar moves substitute and conform Senate Bill 359, properly seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Kumar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to passage of Senate Bill 0359 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Kumar moves passage of Senate Bill 359 on third and final consideration, properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
House Health Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Terry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt.
Chairman Terry moves adoption Committee Amendment number 1, properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of Committee Amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Kumar, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, ours is a high-stress society, and high-stress professions can be prone to substance use and substance abuse. This bill deals with self-reporting of substance abuse by a physician before any harm has occurred. During an informal initial executive session with the Board of Medical Examiners pursuant to 63-1-169, the board may, in its discretion, issue a license under a private advocacy order, requiring the applicant to maintain supervision by a peer assistance program, which monitors the applicant's condition and the applicant's ability to practice medicine in a competent, ethical, and professional manner is monitored. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Kumar renews the motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 359 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member casts their vote, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 94, no nays.
Senate Bill 359 having received a constitutional majority, everybody declare passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1205 by Chairman Kumar relative to healthcare services.
Chairman Kumar, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1153.
Chairman Kumar.
Correction, I move to
Passage.
passage of House Bill 1205 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Kumar moves passage, properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call up the First Amendment.
House Health Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Terry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt.
Chairman Terry moves adoption Committee Amendment number 1, properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting Committee Amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Kumar, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, the treatment of prescription medication by a physician or a podiatrist prescriber to oneself or to their immediate family is not legally prohibited. However, caution is needed because it may be difficult for a prescriber to have a proper physician-patient relationship with oneself or with family. Professional organizations such as the TMA and AMA have issued ethical guidelines to help prescribers function in a safe and professional manner. There is, however, confusion still among medical professionals, pharmacies, and the media about the ability of prescribers to treat themselves and family. This bill uses ethical guidelines by the AMA and TMA to confirm the conditions in which prescription to self and family is allowed by a prescriber. In short, a prescriber may prescribe to oneself or to family in short-term, self-limited, minor, or acute emergency situations. A prescriber may also prescribe controlled substances to oneself or family in acute emergency situations. With that, Mr. Speaker, and a lot of prompting, I renew my motion.
Chairman Kumar renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of House Bill 1205 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Lafferty, aye. Cheryl, aye. McCalman, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 78, 14 nays.
House Bill 1205 having received a constitutional majority, everybody declare passed without objection. The motion reads series table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 280 by Chairman Lafferty, relative to the Tennessee Technology Development Corporation. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Lafferty, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 0102.
Chairman Lafferty moves substitute form Senate Bill 102, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Lafferty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 0102 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Lafferty moves passage of Senate Bill 102 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Government Operations Committee Amendment number 1.
Vice Chairman Reedy, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment makes the bill, and I refer to the sponsor for further explanation. Move to adopt.
Vice Chairman Reedy moves adoption of Committee Amendment number 1, probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting Committee Amendment number 1 say aye, aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Lafferty, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I renew my motion.
Chairman Lafferty renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Raper, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I call the question.
Previous question called. Is there objection? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 102 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? No, Pearson, yeah, there you go. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 93, 1 nay.
Senate Bill 102, having received a constitutional majority, everybody declare passed without objection. Most read series table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 285 by Chairman Lafferty, relative to agency rules scheduled to expire pursuant to provisions of the Uniform Administrative Procedures Act compiled in Tennessee Code Annotated Title 4, Chapter 5. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Lafferty, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute conform to Senate Bill 0180.
Chairman Lafferty moves substitute form Senate Bill 180 without objection. So ordered. Chairman Lafferty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 180 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Lafferty moves passage of Senate Bill 180 on third and final consideration. Probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
Mr. Speaker, no amendments filed.
Chairman Lafferty, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I renew my motion.
Chairman Lafferty renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 180, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 88, 3 nays, 1 present, not voting.
Senate Bill 180, having received constitutional majority, everybody declare passed without objection. Most read series table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 288 by Chairman Lafferty, relative to governmental entities. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Lafferty, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute conform to Senate Bill 181.
Chairman Lafferty moves substitute form Senate Bill 181, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Lafferty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move passage of Senate Bill 181 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Lafferty moves passage of Senate Bill 181 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call up First Amendment.
House Government Operations Committee Amendment number 1, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Vice Chairman Reedy, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as the Senate amendment. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
No further amendments, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Lafferty, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I renew my motion.
Chairman Lafferty renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 181, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? McCalman, aye. Capley, aye. Glenn, aye. Kumar, aye. Ms. Kumar, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 97, no nays.
Senate Bill 181, having received a constitutional majority, everybody declare passed without objection. The most read series table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1229 by Chairman Lafferty, relative to forfeiture. Mr. Speaker, Senate bills on the desk.
Chairman Lafferty, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute conform to Senate Bill 481.
Chairman Lafferty moves substitute form Senate Bill 481 without objection. So ordered. Chairman Lafferty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 481 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Lafferty moves passage of Senate Bill 481 on third and final consideration. Properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call for First Amendment.
Mr. Speaker, no amendments filed.
Chairman Lafferty, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll renew my motion.
Chairman Lafferty renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 481, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member casts a vote, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
Senate Bill 481 having received constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. Most read series table. Call next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 197 by Representative Leatherwood relative to collection, storage, claiming, disposal of personal property used for camping. Mr. Speaker, Senate Bill's on the desk.
Representative Leatherwood, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move substitute and conform to Senate Bill 217.
Representative Leatherwood moves substitute and form Senate Bill 217, properly seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Leatherwood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 217 on third and final consideration.
Representative Leatherwood moves passage of Senate Bill 217 on third and final consideration. Properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call for First Amendment.
House Transportation Committee Amendment number 1, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Howell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, Committee Amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
House Amendment 2 by Representative Pearson. Mr. Speaker, was not timely filed.
Representative Pearson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Speaker. And this amendment requires the Department of Transportation to develop and implement a policy for the removal of personal property in a way that allows for people's dignity to be respected. I am deeply concerned about this legislation because it is targeting folks who might be living in an encampment. It's targeting folks who already have been, by no fault of their own, harmed in some way, and this legislation is further degrading them and not caring for them in a way that is respectful, in a way that any of us would want to be treated. And so while I do understand the intention of the sponsor and others, the reality is we need to care for the last, the lost, and the least of these. And this legislation does not do that. And so with that, I move for consideration.
You've heard the motion, probably seconded. We're voting for consideration of amendment number 2. All those in favor of considering amendment number 2, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 21, 71 nays.
In accordance with Rule 60B, having failed to receive the necessary two-thirds vote, the motion to consider amendment number 2 fails. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Amendment 3 by Representative Pearson. Mr. Speaker, was not timely filed.
Representative Pearson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Speaker. And dozens of organizations have advocated against this legislation, particularly organizations that work for people and work with people who are unhoused, and organizations that are faith-based like the Black Clergy Collaborative of Tennessee. This amendment simply says that in order and before removal is done, that there be a notice for people to know when this is going to happen in an effort to avoid the disposal of personal identifying documents, benefit cards, medical supplies, and medical and legal paperwork. This legislation acts too quickly in removing people from the places where they are, and instead of addressing some of the root causes of the problem, it in effect weaponizes our Tennessee Department of Transportation, local governments against people who are unhoused, against people who are already poor, against people who are suffering. And so that's why I ask for you to consider this amendment.
For the motion, probably seconded, we're voting for consideration of amendment number 3. All those in favor of considering amendment number 3, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 22, 71 nays.
In accordance with Rule 60B, having failed to receive the necessary two-thirds vote, the motion to consider amendment number 3 fails. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Amendment 4 by Representative Pearson. Mr. Speaker, was not timely filed.
Representative Pearson, you recognized.
Thank you, Speaker. Look, for people who say that they practice a faith tradition or practice Christianity, it's very frustrating to see legislation that hurts people who are already suffering. And instead of building housing and helping to make sure that people are actually cared for, we have legislation that seeks to remove them as though they are the problem, instead of a state, a society that creates conditions where people are having to live on the sides of highways and underneath underpasses and in public spaces. Instead of addressing the root causes of the problem, we are here weaponizing our government against the most marginalized, against people who are already suffering. And so this amendment says that before anyone is removed, there has to be local partnering agencies that ensure housing for all of the residents. And so with that, I move for consideration.
You've heard the motion, probably seconded. We're voting for consideration of amendment number 4. All those in favor of considering amendment number 4, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 23, 73 nays.
In accordance with Rule 60B, having failed to receive the necessary 2/3 vote, the motion to consider amendment number 4 fails. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Amendment 5 by Representative Pearson. Mr. Speaker, was not timely filed.
Representative Pearson, you recognized.
Thank you, Speaker. There's a scripture in my holy text in Matthew 25 that says, I was hungry and you fed me, naked and you clothed me, sick and you gave me a place to be. We are not acting in a way according to any of the values many people up here espouse by having legislation that does not adequately care for the people who are going to be most directly impacted by it. And so while there might be an intention with this legislation, the actual implication and impact of it is disproportionate and is harmful. All of these amendments are just further safeguards to the people who are going to be impacted, including making sure that there's a homeless service provider or the lead service agency of the continuum of care whose geographical boundaries within the campsite are contacted when there is an MOU. Again, we have to care for those who have been made last, those who have been made least, and support them. And so with that, I move for consideration.
You've heard the motion, probably seconded. We're voting for consideration of amendment number 5. All those in favor of considering amendment number 5, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 24, 71 nays.
In accordance with Rule 60B, having failed to receive the necessary 2/3 vote, the motion to consider amendment number 5 fails. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Leatherwood, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I understand this bill can stir some emotion. I'll go ahead and share. I usually pick my very brief remarks off of the fiscal note. This bill requires the Department of Transportation to develop and implement a policy for the removal of abandoned personal property used for camping in dangerous locations on state and interstate highway. I know in one of the committee meetings, one of my fellow Shelby Countyans, one of the Democrats, mentioned it's so easy to just turn a blind eye and not think about the homeless, forget about the homeless. Made me think about the old TV show my age here, Hogan's Heroes, where Sergeant Schultz would say, I see nothing, if anybody remembers that. And that is what we do with the homeless so often. This bill doesn't purport to solve all the homeless problems. No one bill can, I believe. But this bill does do good things to address the problem. In Section 1, it says the department shall develop and implement a policy to help remove homeless and their personal property from shoulder, berm, right-of-way of highways, under a bridge or overpass, so dangerous locations. So instead of ignoring the people residing in these dangerous locations, instead of pretending they're invisible, this requires the Department of Transportation come up with a memorandum of understanding with local governments and local agencies to see it, to see the problem, not ignore it, as has been inferred in some of the discussion already. And then it doesn't weaponize anyone or anything. It says we not only see the problem, but then you have to do something about it. It goes on in section 1B, the department shall develop and implement a policy with the local governments, but it was mentioned working with agencies and so forth to try and find somewhere for these people. It's exactly what this bill does. The department shall work with local homeless coalitions, nonprofit organizations, and other entities that provide transitional housing related services to persons experiencing homeless. What it was alluded to that one of the amendments would do, this bill actually does. So we're not weaponizing anyone or any entity. We are telling the Department of Transportation to see the problem and do something about the problem. And the Bible verse, it is interesting. Politics is politics. I feel like I'm doing something good for the homeless here, trying to just improve the lot of a few people, even if just a little bit. That's within my faith as I see it. It's interesting having my faith challenged by bringing something that I think is in line with my faith and doing a good thing. Clothe me, you didn't clothe me, you didn't feed me. Well, that's why this bill says you shall work with these local agencies to clothe these people, feed these people, house these people. Don't ignore these people. Don't say, I'd rather have some good verbiage for the TV and let these people stay in these dangerous situations rather than move them out of dangerous situations. It reminds me of a story. I'm sure many of you have heard it. An old man on the beach after a storm, and he sees a little boy walking down the beach, throwing starfish into the water. And he comes up to him, there's thousands of starfish. He says, you can't make a difference. Look at all these starfish. You can't throw them all back. And he says, well, maybe I can't throw them all back, but it makes a difference for this one. I appreciate your vote.
Representative Leatherwood renews motion. Any discussion on the bill? Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Move previous question.
Previous question been called. Is there objection? I only heard one, two. We're on the board for previous question. All those in favor of previous question vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Wright, aye. McCallum, aye. Capley, aye. Hill, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 73, 21 nays.
Previous question prevails. We're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 217 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member vote, does any member wish to change their vote? Right, aye. Hardaway, no. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 74, 23 nays.
Senate Bill 217 and received a constitutional majority. Everybody declare pass without objection. The motion reeks here table. Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to take up Senate Bill 1272, which I believe was item 10 on today's calendar at this time. Johnny, you may go now.
Representative Hastings, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to lift from the table the motion to reconsider our actions on Senate Bill 1272.
Without objection, so ordered. Representative Hastings, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to reconsider our actions on Senate Bill 1272.
Without objection, so ordered. Representative Hastings, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 1272 on third and final consideration.
Representative Hastings moves passage of Senate Bill 1272 on third and final consideration. By second, Ms. Clerk, call up next amendment.
House Amendment 2, Leader Lamberth. Mr. Speaker, it was not timely filed.
Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move for consideration of amendment number 2.
You've heard the motion, probably second. We're voting for consideration of amendment number 2. All those in favor of considering amendment number 2, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Wright, aye. Martin, aye. Leatherwood, aye. McCalman, aye. Wright, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 77, 19 nays.
In accordance with Rule 60B, having received the 2/3 vote, the motion to consider number 2 prevails. Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move adoption of House Amendment number 2.
Leader Lamberth moves adoption of House Amendment number 2, probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Leader Camper.
Thank you. Leader, would you explain that amendment, please?
Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Leader. There was an amendment that was traveling with the bill from committee that was inadvertently withdrawn yesterday, and it did need to be added so that the bill aligns properly with House Bill 1253, which has already passed in both chambers.
Leader Camper.
I understand it was left off, but could you explain what the amendment is doing is what I'm asking.
Representative Hastings, you're recognized.
Thank you. Yes, this bill is the same bill that I presented yesterday. All the questions that Chairman Clemens asked yesterday, the answers would still be the same. There was 2 things that needed to go on this to make it to where it was compatible with House Bill 1253 that already passed both chambers. The 2 things was it aligns the substitute teacher bill language and paid leave bill language that was in House Bill 1253. Specifically, it moved from 20 to 30 days a substitute teacher could consecutively be in the classroom, which was in House Bill 1253, and dealt with how many days consecutively you could take the paid leave. What was happening was, as teachers were spacing that out instead of taking those days consecutively or in 1 week increments. But again, that was from a bill that had already been passed. We're just trying to align with it.
Leader Camper. All right. Further discussion? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of House Amendment number 2, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Right, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 74, 21 nays.
House Amendment number 2 prevails. It's adopted. Representative Hastings, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This moment reminds me of a story I'd like to tell you guys, but I renew my motion.
Representative Hastings renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 1272 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 70, 23 nays.
Senate Bill 1272 and received constitutional majority. I hereby declare passed by objection. Most for reconsider table. Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
All right, members, we've been hard at it for a few hours now, and I'm sure several of y'all have additional work to attend to outside the chamber. We will be on this calendar again tomorrow, as well as the other calendars that have already been set for tomorrow, like the appropriations calendar, the other calendars that came out of calendar rules. So you'll have multiple calendars, both on the dashboard or your desk for tomorrow. But the rest of this will be rolled over. But at this time, I move that we take up today's message calendar.
Call up next message, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 826 by Chairman Faison, relative to children. Mr. Speaker, on April 10th, 2025, the Senate substituted House Bill 826 for Senate Bill 895, adopted amendments 1 and 2, and passed House Bill 826 as amended.
Chairman Faison, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to concur.
Chairman Faison moves concurrence in amendments number 1 and 2. Probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Amendment number 1 and 2 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As their member voted, as any member wish to change their vote. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 83, 5 nays, 2 present not voting.
Senate Amendments 1 and 2 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare concurred in without objection. Most read serious table. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Unfinished business.
Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To consult with the minority leader, I move that the rules be suspended for immediate consideration and introduction of House Resolution 110.
Mr. Clerk, read the caption.
House Resolution 110 by Leader Lamberth, a resolution to approve annual events by certain 501c organizations in accordance with the provisions of Article 11, Section 5 of the Constitution of Tennessee and pursuant to the Tennessee Nonprofit Gaming Law.
You've heard the caption. Any objections? Without objections, rules are suspended. Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this is the procrastinator amendment every single year, where those organizations that couldn't get in at the original deadline for charitable gaming or the extended deadline for charitable gaming, we then extended one more final time on the floor for those organizations that I would like to notify at this time there is a regular deadline that they are happy to make for next year. With that, I move adoption of House Resolution number 110.
Leader Lamberth moves adoption of House Resolution 110. Probably seconded. Any objection to the question? We're on the board. All those in favor of House Resolution 110 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 88, no nays, 1 present not voting.
I hereby declare it adopted without objection. The most read serious table. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Scheduling and procedural announcements.
Mr. Clerk. He's got nothing. All right. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Roll call.
Roll call. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Speaker, 89 members present.
Next order, Mr.
That
Clerk.
completes the regular order, Mr. Speaker.
Leader Cochran, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday, April 16th, 2025.
Without objection, House stands recessed until 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday, April 16th, 2025.